All right, guys, so for our guests that are still with us here, you guys have 15 minutes, and then I'm shut.
There you go. All right. Howdy, everybody. Howdy. Oh, I shaved my head. I gave myself a mohawk. I didn't do that good of a job on the mohawk. It's more like faux hawk. All right. Crazy day today, wouldn't you say? Wait for a couple people to come in, but I'm interested to hear what you guys thought of today. Huge gap up from futures last night into today. Didn't really make much sense, but you know, whatever. I guess maybe we got a little carryover from Monday, or you know, Sunday into Monday, Monday into Tuesday. Oh, cool. Yeah, guys. How many people from last Friday's stream jumped in on those $8 calls? They were fucking gamble, but god damn it, did they pay off today? 242%. Haircut is ugly. Ah, this fucking guy again. You're fucking ugly. Your mom's ugly. How about that? Oh, Jesus. So there you go. Okay, cool. So you got X. Nice. Nice. All right, cool. Yeah, look, the X trade was real dicey. You know, honestly, my hope for, you know, from Friday before any of this happened was, all right, maybe this can get back to 7.75, so $7.75. I'll be happy with that. You know, my goal was, because I averaged down, and I basically bought 75% of my position under 9 cents. So I bought my first piece at 17. I got a couple of 16s in there, and then I just got most of my position that low. So my average was super low, and as soon as it got to break even, I started, you know, trimming, you know, and this thing just kept on moving. So I was happy with it, honestly. But for a little while, the option just traded. I mean, for most of the day, actually, the option traded like complete dog shit. So, you know, but you know, one of the things that so today was TTG Tuesday. For those of you that went, it was a pretty good day. We're going to go over that later. I think I'm going to be doing a live stream at like 8:30 p.m. just based off of some of those trades. But today, I mean, I didn't really trade that much. I mean, I missed a lot, right? So I was looking at entries on a bunch of different things. Some better that I did miss them, and then I just moved on to something else. So what I did trade was obviously U.S. Steel. Actually, I traded U.S. Steel at the end of the day. I bought $8 puts at 20 cents. Got out most of them at 26 cents in like a matter of 10 minutes, maybe. And unloaded the last bit at like 25. So a quick 25, 30%, which was just awesome. I mean, just once the SPY kind of cracked, and I had a feeling the SPY wasn't going to hold 300, but not today. I didn't think it was going to crack today. Thought maybe into futures, but I didn't think that during the day it would crack. I just have been looking at the SPY at 300 as just this psychological boundary, right? You know, an area where investors and, you know, people on TV, people in the media, like, you know, people on Twitter just will shit on it. Basically, like, how the fuck are we at 300 when, you know, we've got 35 million people unemployed, 1.4 trillion in student loan debt, and on and on and on and on. Just didn't make sense. So it was a nice quick hit, as they say. But I did get some $11 American airline puts. I also bought. I also reloaded DRV finally. And I bought DRV call options for the first time ever. And the only reason I did was they were $20 calls, and the bid and ask were like relatively tight compared to where I've seen them. So I did pay a little bit more for them, but I'm not really worried. I have no doubt that that thing will be over $20. And worst case scenario, I exercise and get the options, not the options, the actual stock. So I didn't take a big position, actually not at all. I'd be happy to exercise that. So I also added some SRS. That's the other real estate, inverse that I like. Yeah, I mean, market's just kind of crazy, right? The things that were, you'd think that wouldn't get smashed did. Twilio got smashed. The airlines were just absolutely rocking. And why, I don't know. Look, the big concern for me in the next 2 weeks is, after seeing all of this, it's a coin flip. We've got two real big scenarios, right? Scenario one is that in 2 weeks, after everybody's seeing these pictures of people like partying in the Ozarks and everywhere else, are there going to be spikes in coronavirus, right? That's scenario one. That's fear one. That breaks the bull case. So if, let's say, in 2 weeks there aren't any spikes, and we see stuff just kind of going at the normal rate, especially in those areas, then market's probably gonna rock. Apple will probably be at an all-time high. QQQ all-time high. SPY, I wouldn't say SPY at an all-time high, but you get the point. You're going to see all of the transportation sector is just going to rock. And with that, energy, and you'll see probably gold pull back and shit like that. Basic cause and effect, right? So that's what we're like. I lean a little bit more towards a negative. We'll see. I mean, if they're in a chlorinated pool, who knows? But it is going to be really interesting to see. I think that probably, if you do play options and you do play that far out, now's the perfect time to do a straddle, especially with longer term options, or a strangle. For the most part today, all I traded was options. I scalped options today, which is kind of normal. The levels that I'm looking at for, some options that I wasn't able to get into. So IWM, which is the Russell 2000, that 140 area, I tried getting positioned twice today and missed both times, and both times it just went down. It was at 140. I was looking at 139 puts, just couldn't get them. I wasn't gonna chase them, because if I start chasing the stock, then it's kind of a mind fuck for me, especially if I'm thinking I might have to average down. But QQQ also. QQQ is probably one of my favorite scalps, these days. But yeah, I mean, look, I still think that 300 area was just, something was bound to happen. Now, if the rumors are true that we're talking about escalating, just part of the global economic machine with China, whatever it is. That's going to be really interesting. I think it's a bad move, especially right now. I think it's more posturing. It's really just stupid, right? Why would anybody, in government even talk about that on a day when the SPY just gets over 300? Anybody know? Because that's some stupid move. Do I keep any? Yeah, I actually do have X long, but I don't touch that, and I got it at 480. It was actually one of my first trades on TTG. So let's get into some things. Anybody have any questions on pot stocks while I'm here? Figured I'd give you a shot. I'd be buying 1150 puts on Tilray all day. I actually did scalp some Tilray puts, some $11 puts, but not many. And they kind of traded like shit anyway. So, one of the things that when we were talking about pot stocks on Friday, right? It was, if you're going to short, do it quickly, get out, do not hold over the weekend, especially if you're in the United States. Why? Because on Monday, we knew we were going to see a squeeze, which is exactly what we saw. So if you watched that stream on Friday and you got out of your puts and maybe even switched over to calls, good job. Way to follow the trade. Because yesterday, Canadian market squeezed the nuts off of the US market. And then today would be the day to short, right? But then with that macro push, everything just kind of went higher. I think pot stocks are kind of overstretched. I think Tilray is really overstretched. Give me a second. Sorry. All right. Sorry. Didn't have the cord in my computer. So yeah, I think pot stocks are kind of overstretched, but not all of them. Mainly just Tilray. I think Tilray is just overstretched. And honestly, I don't know why anybody's fucking buying Tilray. Tilray's dog shit. Let's just be real. Charlotte's Web, garbage. If you're going to own something in the United States, it's not Charlotte's Web. Even with the talk of all CBD and everything, Charlotte's Web's just junk. That's it. I feel the same way about, what's it called? What else do I feel the same way about? Village Farms. That's right. Oh, Hexo. Hexo did well. Hexo had a good day. Those 50-cent calls did well. I got out of my 50-cent calls at 20 cents. I think they went to 25 today. Congrats if you got them. If you got out of them at 25 cents, that's almost 100% gained from the entry on May 13th. Tilray 1050 puts 2 weeks out. I like that, but I wouldn't hold Tilray puts 2 weeks out, right? When you're getting something 2 weeks out, option wise, you're basically paying for less risk. Okay, I mean, there's still a lot of risk when you're trading options, but this week strike versus next week strike. I think that when you play Tilray, you need to buy the puts when you're just like, what the fuck? Why is it this high? Like today, when the chart just went straight up like this, that's when it was time to buy puts. And you can buy them as close to in the money, just slightly out of the money is kind of the way that I do it. With 2 weeks. Yeah, it could turn out to be just a great trade, but you still have to stay active until Tilray's volatile enough where, you can sell some part of your position and then reload it back. 10, 20 cents below where you sold it. And that's really the way that you want to stay active in it. Huge calls on MedMen today. MedMen, I don't even look at MedMen. What do they even do? MedMen is such dog shit. MedMen's up 5 cents. It's 50 cents. It was 75 cents in January. Remember, guys, MedMen they're diluting now as we speak. MedMen probably putting in, I think 26 million new shares into the float every month, something in that neighborhood. Okay, guys, wow, 71 people. Guys, we're at 10 likes. So if you're new to the channel, you got to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, or just subscribe and hit the likes. Just don't leave my likes in the 30s. If you don't want to like this, that's fine. But okay, we're at 27. If you put me in the 30s, you got to get me into the 40s, because you guys know I'm like OCD about being in the 30s. MedMen, look, John Hopkins, MedMen does make pretty stores, and I've always said that they, as a brand, it's very clean. Okay, I love the dispensaries. I like them, but dispensary, honestly, let's be real. Do I really give a shit if dispensary looks like an Apple store or like Chipotle? It's like, no. Do they have good weed? Are the prices good? Do they have other things that I might want? That's all that matters. If it was a guy selling this stuff out of a cardboard box that was legal, it wouldn't bother me none. So, but being able to separate the business, which would be the dispensaries, from the public vehicle is where people, I think, investing in MedMen get lost. MedMen's got a lot of problems. So yeah. John Barry, G-Tech playing a little catch-up. Pot stocks move, closed at 18.5. Cool. Time to get Norton on the phone. Yeah, we can get Norton on the phone. Me and Norton are friends, so whenever he wants to do it. Yeah, I mean, I would love drive-through weed. That would be like my dream. Just like, and if I could get like a donut or some burritos, that'd be great. Is Ianthus going to survive? I think Ianthus survives, but not in its current form. We'll see. I mean, they've got assets worth something, but I think that it probably ends up going into some kind of receivership, because Hadley really fucked that thing up, man. taking dirty. He basically took loan shark money, 20% interest rate. Like, as soon as that happened, everybody, I mean, I said it on Twitter, like, head for the hills. Like, that shit's never going to get out from under that. And the crazy thing was, I think that day where they did that, the stock actually went up. Just kind of shows you how stupid the people trading these things that don't understand. And, and there was a whole group of people just selling into it. Where you go to jail for a roach. Oh, no, it sucks. Big GNC squeeze. Oh yeah, GNC filed for bankruptcy. Look, it's not so much it's not a squeeze. It's just covering. The shorts have to cover eventually, right? They can't just ride it down to zero, and that'll never happen. It's the same thing that happened to LK, which is Luckin Coffee. Thing got smashed, and somehow people are still trading it. But understand what you're trading. You're basically trading the shorts covering. And that's going to dry up, and you're going to get stuck all over again. So yeah. Time to trim TrueLeaf. A lot of people asking me about trimming TrueLeaf. Look, I think with TrueLeaf, it's pretty simple, right? It's a good company. We know that. It's also a really volatile stock for the most part. Today was pretty much sideways, but usually it'll give you a range of like $1. What that means is it can, let's say it can be $13 off the open, then it goes to 14, then it pulls back to 13, goes back to 14, that's the range. And if it does something like that, or even 25 or 50 cents, that's fucking amazing. If you can trade it and you can stay disciplined, take it all fucking day, people. All right. Because then it doesn't matter when you're getting in. If you can just stay active on a stock like that, you're just basically funneling free shares to yourself, and that's the way to do it. All day, every day, baby. Feels like there are no new pod companies. Are there any new players starting out with good management? Dude, we don't want any new pod companies. The problem right now is we've got too many pod companies. When I started trading pod stocks, there was 13. It's kind of similar to what mushroom stocks are. So we want less companies because most of the companies are complete dog shit. And if let's say if I could have my way and wave like a magic like wolf wand and bring it down to 50 companies, everything would trade fucking beautifully, because they'd all be liquid. You'd be talking about, it'd be just a completely different dynamic, with the market. Instead of, you've got companies that have no business being publicly traded companies, are never going to get off the ground, yet still find a way to sucker people into the idea that they're going to be okay. Pot management moves to mushrooms. Trip. I got my eyes on Trip. Trip. Interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. I might get the CEO of Trip to come on with me here one day. Yeah, Hemptown, John Barry, that's gonna be a monster. Yeah, like we want companies like Hemptown. Hemptown's doing more in revenue than Truly. Nuts. Yeah, Shapiro's one of my buddies. I was talking to him today. Is the X ATM basically what you did this afternoon? Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than that, Adam. But yeah, the X is an ATM. And the crazy thing is for anybody in here that's in True Trading Group, I'll post this for you guys. It's not TTG Tuesday, but that's just my link. And that gets you like 36% off. And the prices are going up. So that ends this month. Thoughts on MindMed? Bruce Linton's my boy. And I know he's involved. But anyway, kind of getting back to what I was saying about U.S. Steel. I haven't been in it in probably like 2 weeks since it had its big run up. I tried to get back in it and then just waited and got into it like a day early, but still kind of felt confident. Look, my thesis was pretty simple. I felt like while it wasn't warranted that we were going to have a big move in the market after Memorial Day weekend, right? We did have that move, and everybody was just kind of celebrating, and I felt like, okay, maybe U.S. Steel will benefit from that. It's going to benefit if the market moves, to the upside anyway, right? Now, can we get this? It was kind of hammered. It traded in this range on Friday, but I still felt pretty comfortable about it. And I figured, give it another day. And also, when I bought it, I was just thinking like, if I'm buying this thing under 20 cents, I'm just expecting that I'm either going to make money on this or I'm going to lose everything on it. So I was willing to roll the dice for another day. You know, it ended up turning out well. TTG for the win. Yeah, Garen, it was a good day today. You know, and that's what sucks about for the people that come in on TTG Tuesday. So today was TTG Tuesday, where we open up the chat room and everything for everybody. It's free. So sometimes they're, like today I was actually selling stuff, and they were probably like, "What the hell?" The only thing that I saw, so last week I called an entry on Budweiser last Tuesday, and then this Tuesday, like I sold like $2.70 above where I bought it. But the people from last week still don't get to see that because you only get to come in once. So yeah, I mean, like, a lot of the things that I'm trading are just, swings that need a little bit more time versus day trades, right? The days where we're getting into something, at 9:30 and then getting out at like 10 at like 100%, haven't really been happening. And they haven't been happening because volatility in the market has just kind of died down, which kind of sucks. We really do like that volatility. Oh, Luke, that makes a lot more sense now. SPY levels, Sandeep. Look, I think 300 is just going to be this kind of, wall for a little. I think, look, that we've moved into a new range, okay? And I think the new range is probably 297 to 303 on the SPY. And, until we get something a little bit more concrete, we bounce around, unless we keep getting, this vaccine news that's like, oh, everything's fucking awesome. Yeah. Joe Canada says, seems like 70 to 80% of the moves are gap up or gap downs pre-market. Yeah. And it's really tough to trade something like that because, when you're trading, you're taught, hey, don't chase this, don't get FOMO for that. I'd love for a day where the SPY opens up flat, at least then we can look at something objectively and be like, oh, this is a good time to get in. Why, yes, it is a sun kiss. I love Sunkist. I haven't had Sunkist probably in years, and then I bought the minis, and I drank one. I got them for like my daughter, and I drank one, and all of a sudden I drank like the whole 6-pack, and I was like, man, I forgot how much I love Sunkist. Shoot the commercial. I could do one with Boost Oxygen. Boost Oxygen sends me stuff. Where's the Mexican Coke? I gave up Mexican Coke for Lent, and I just haven't bought any Mexican Cokes. Shotgunning Sunkist. Yeah. All right. So let's kind of go into, just a couple of things I think, I want you guys to keep your eye on. First and foremost, keep your eye on XLK. That's the technology ETF. All right. I'm not saying trade it, just try and figure out a pattern for how it's trading. And the reason I say that, it's just got a bunch of like the technology companies in there. And, that could be, that's like one of the things where I'll buy like one share just so I could watch it, just so I don't have to pull it up on, my screener and see what it's doing in relation to other things. Watch XLK, with that, you have to watch QQQ because it's, it's weighted heavy on technology. Look, technology is going to have that V shape. I mean, we already have the V shape recovery on technology, and the reason being, it exposed a lot of things in the system that were just archaic, flaws in the system, right? Some companies that were able to take advantage of some of these things, like Chipotle. We talked about this yesterday, Domino's, even though, I'd say like Papa John's or Dunkin' Donuts, like ordering online, those companies are doing well. And that's all technology based, right? But, we still have to be aware that we're not anywhere near to calling a bottom on the coronavirus, right? And why? Because we still have to see if we do get that second wave. It's the same way if, like, you can't call a blow off top the day of, because you need data to show that, right? Can't call bottom on coronavirus because we have to see if we do get a second wave, which there always will be, how strong it is compared to the first wave. Obviously we're doing a lot of things, but I also think that we're also getting very complacent. So XOK kind of looks like the SPY pattern, the V pattern. Yeah, of course. Technology, V-shaped recovery. Airlines, U-shaped recovery. Energy, U-shaped recovery. Technology, V-shaped. Okay. So, Johnny B, how do I feel about you buying XLK? I don't see, there's not that much upside in it. I think there are other sectors to buy. It's only like $6 off its all-time high. All right. So, whereas you could probably buy a bunch of other ETFs that are nowhere near their, 52-week high. I'd probably go in something like materials, or even, buy JETS, the transportation ETF. I think that there's just way more upside in that than XLK. XLK is more of just kind of, hey, this is what things look like. Yeah, that's what was stopping you. You knew the answer. Sometimes you just need to hear it from somebody else. So, man, in South Florida, it's just pissing down rain the last 4 days. So anyway, let's see what everything's doing. Apple's up. Aurora's up. Canopy up. Chronos barely up. DRV up. You get the point. So do you still like Uxley? When have I ever liked Uxley? When have you guys ever heard me on Twitter, YouTube, Smoke Signal say that I like Uxley? I don't like Uxley. Tilray up, don't hate. I don't care. I hope Tilray is really up. Just makes the short that much sweeter. I don't get mad when things go up. I get mad when I buy something and it, if I buy a put and it keeps going up. That's the only time I get mad. Why is Cron generally lagging recently? Albert, that's a good question. I'd say because their revenues suck, and they basically just traded cash value. They haven't done anything that's demonstrated that there's something you want to take a long-term position in, minus the fact that they've got tons of cash that they can do some kind of acquisition for. Yeah, the volume on CGC was pretty good, just under 13 million. Tilray, 36 million. And that's crazy because Tilray in comparison to Canopy, like I wouldn't own Tilray over Canopy. You know what that could be is people just shopping price, which is stupid. You know, they should have thought of that when Tilray was fucking I can't believe people were actually buying the fucking thing when it was $200. That's fucking nuts. And the CEO is like, sell, 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 Brendan Kennedy. So yeah. So anyway, all right, guys. I'm gonna go. Because I'm doing another one of these at 8 o'clock tonight. DRV June calls. Yeah, I'm in them. $20. So if you want to do this with me every day during the day, there you go. What impact will NASDAQ listing have for Afria? I mean, it's just more liquidity. Hopefully the options on Afria trade better. So guys, if you're new, like, subscribe, or just subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell. I don't know. I need to hire somebody to just do all the fucking YouTube gadgets for me. Oh, we're at 46 likes, 47. I'll hold my breath. Come on. Thank God. Thank God I can't hold my breath. Too much weed. Thanks, man. I have been taking live trades 3 weeks, maybe too many, but most are swing trades and some of my own. Thanks. Cool. Yeah, guys. Oh, and the subs. I'm really happy. Thank you guys for, helping me build this up in like 2 weeks. I'm going to have Todd Harrison on this week and maybe a couple other guys. All right. All right, guys. So have a good night. I will see you at 8:30 on the next one. Hopefully I'm wearing pants by then. I'm just kidding. I'm wearing pants. I'll see you later.